Tonight's conversation is for anyone who has ever looked at their circumstances and wondered, can something greater still come from this? Because we are living in a time where people are carrying pressure, disappointment, uncertainty, and even survival stories that nobody fully sees. And yet, some of the most powerful leaders are not the ones who started with privilege or perfect conditions. They're the ones who choose to create light in dark places. Tonight's guest, Lia Valencia Key, embodies that truth. From homelessness, hunger, and unimaginable loss, she has built a luxury global brand featured on multiple platforms, and her story is a masterpiece in resilience, creativity, courage, and purpose-driven leadership. But this conversation is bigger than jewelry. It's about identity. It's about vision. It's about refusing to let your current predicament define your destiny. And leaders, in uncertain times, that mindset matters more than ever. So let's lean in, allow yourself to maybe learn something new, but most importantly, listen for the light, because what you are going through does not define what is still possible for you. Let's get at it on the flip side. What's making strong leaders in this season? Leadership is influence. It's rooted in the responsibility you take. You pay attention to the patterns, your calm, your strength, your hope. It's all integrated. We are living in a time where trust is fragile and people are watching not just what leaders say, but how they decide. Integrity is not optional anymore. Obedience is going to cost you. In this season, we're not just flipping adversity. We're forming leaders who can carry what comes next. Leaders from across all dimensions of fields and spaces, they're going to come together to give you the best of their wisdom. And I want you to leave each episode with a call to action. That's the work. That's the calling. And that's the conversation we're stepping into together. Good evening. I am Dr. Veirdre Jackson, CEO and creative behind Living Strong Consulting. And I am so excited to be able to share with you my guest this evening. Now, if you followed anything on social media, you have gotten to where you've seen me say, she is walking sunshine. And this conversation will not disappoint. Lia Valencia Key is an entrepreneur. She is a designer. She is the founder of Valencia Key Jewelry, a global recognized luxury jewelry brand rooted in joy, light, love, gratitude, and peace. Her designs have been featured on Good Morning America, the Mel Robbins Show, and in Oprah's Favorite Things. She has a spirit that inspires people around the world to embrace resilience and their purpose. Rising from a childhood marked by homelessness, hunger, and personal loss, Lia transforms adversity into a mission-driven brand that reminds others that their predicament does not determine their destiny. And I can't wait for us to get at this conversation right here on the flip side. So welcome to the flip side of adversity, Lia Valencia Key.
Let's get at it. I love it.
So So,
I could listen to you talk all day long. I'm like, I'll just sit here and smile. It's so good. Thank you. I'm honored.
oh my goodness, I have been looking forward to this joy filled conversation all day long. I know that the conversations that I've been curating have specifically been for leaders in a season and time in which there is so much uncertainty, there is so much fear. There's literally, if we're honest, there's a whole lot of darkness. And to be able to bring someone who literally exudes sunshine and brightness and light and joy. I'm just excited about the gift that you're going to bring our leaders during
Oh,
this conversation.
thank you. This is it's so beautiful because I we are so energy connected, and I'm honored that you see my light and we're gonna share it. And I know our journey, wherever our conversation goes, it's just gonna be so impactful for me. So everyone listen, we want to share it out, but I know I'm gonna gain some nuggets.
Yes. So let's start at the top with I've listened to your story. You so vulnerably and honestly share your story, your journey. And in your story, you shared the pivotal statement that your mother shared with you, which is actually the title of our episode. Your mother told you your predicament does not determine your destiny. And
Yeah.
share with our listeners, our leaders, how did and does those words become the foundation for the work that you do and how you actually lead?
Yes, I love it. This phrase is like a seed that just consistently grows different branches in my life. My mother told me that the first day we landed in the homeless shelter, my story, I love sharing where I'm from. It's an honor. It is what makes my light so bright. And I start from homelessness and poverty, single mother, three children. My mother, I self diagnosed, paralyzed by society, I would say stereotypes and generational curses. If anyone doesn't know what that is, it's passed down, poverty is passed down. And so my mother had this beautiful brain. She would always speak to her three children, me included. I would always listen and she would speak power. But
Mhm.
physically, she couldn't break out of the stereotypes and what the world was giving her. But her choice was to speak it in prayers that these seeds would be lights that would shine through her children. And I'm honored that I've been taking those nuggets and trying to shine them as bright as possible. That predicament determined your destiny. We landed in a woman's homeless shelter when my mother was getting her three children home from school, me, my sister, my brother, and there was a padlock on the door. So now a mother with three children has no place to take her kids, and all of our belongings were locked in the house. And we were landed in a homeless shelter once. We actually rode on a SEPTA bus, public transportation in Philadelphia is called SEPTA. A public transportation bus for almost, it had to be a work shift, almost 8 hours back and
Mm.
forth, back and forth. And I don't share that part often. And my mother was just crying. It was the end of the line to the end of the line. And finally, that bus driver, his shift was probably over. I remember this vividly. He came to the back of the bus and said, "Ma'am, can I help you? I don't know what to tell you, but you have to go." And he directed us to the homeless shelter. And when we landed there, it was, I would consider darkness. If you imagine a gym, a big room, cots, metal beds, 1 foot apart, filling the gym room, and each mother got one cot for your entire family. So now you have four bodies balled up on a cot. I share that because it was so powerful from the statement that my mother shared to us. there's profanity and crying and hopelessness filling the room. And in the middle of that, I remember my mother looking down at us and saying, "Your predicament doesn't determine your destiny."
Mm.
uh, at that age, I don't think I grasped it. That was a seed that just laid dormant, and I'm able to like speak it at 46, but I lived it through other words my mother shares that I'll share. But what that meant for me, and still does mean for me, is that no matter where you are, even if in a good place, I share that challenging story, but I want to bring other leaders and hearts into that fold. Maybe you don't experience those things, but maybe you're just in something that's amazing, and the world would say, "Why would you ever change? Like,
Mm.
why would you ever try something different? This is amazing." But there's an inner whisper that my mother also told me a few years later I call it a divine whisper, and it is calling you to your destiny. And all you have to do is choose to answer it. And so my life is led by answering the call of light, answering the call of this divine whisper that consistently I hear, and I go toward it, and I always find my destiny.
Yeah. So, as you're speaking into the souls of leaders, you're really challenging us to recognize that wherever you are right now, whether it is a hard time, a fearful time, or a joyful time, even where you are right now does not determine what is still possible. And
Yes, all things are
don't stop dreaming. Don't stop dreaming,
possible.
whether it's dark or it
Mhm,
is a brilliant time. Don't stop dreaming, because there's still
mhm.
more for you to do. Oh.
And it's listen, what I unpacked with that later down the line is like your predicament is your external circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
There's an internal whisper, and what I'm learning is to start to go within more than
Mm-hmm.
outside and hear what is for you, what is calling you, what feels well to you, what feels like peace to you, what resonates like joy to you, not what other expectations or what someone told you. And within that internal self, there's something beautiful that you'll see that you may not even see the big picture of. And there's these millimeter, I call them millimeter
Mm-hmm.
movements. That
Yeah.
small. Millimeter is the smallest measurement on the ruler. I found that out when I start creating jewelry. Manufacturers, I hand sketch every piece of jewelry that I make, just embodying like what energy that I want you to feel when you look at it. And when I give the sketch over to the manufacturers, they always say, "Oh, how many millimeters is that sphere? How many millimeters is that?" And I'm like, "What?" When I first started. And they're like, because 1 millimeter changes the entire trajectory
Wow.
of the design, of the quality, of the efficacy. A millimeter up is quality, a millimeter down, it breaks. A
Mm.
millimeter too high, it doesn't move and it's too thick. So there, I mean, it's so
Yeah.
that's why I say millimeter movement. Now, these small movements change the entire course of your life. And so listen to your inner self, and it's going to tell you these small movements that you may not see the biggest picture, but it's walking you all the way to your destiny.
So, can I lean in and ask, kind of, because you've gone from that space in your childhood to literally traveling the world? Y'all, I
Yeah.
had to ask her for this. I was like, will you be in the country to be able to be on the show on the 14th? She had to check. She's like, "Oh, well, that's in between Milan and London, but I think I can make it." these are these are my, because she's now my girlfriend. So these are my girlfriends, right? These are my girlfriends. so so she's gone from 4 bodies on a cot to
Mhm,
literally traveling the world. And you've
mhm,
just told us, as leaders, to listen to that voice. But I can imagine, as you shared, that space in the shelter was loud. And there's
Mm.
leaders today where things around us are loud. How did you hold on to that vision when circumstances were so loud and you were able to actually hear, to be able to move?
Yes, that's so good because everything is so loud and
So
so
loud.
important and so real. Um,
How do you quiet the noise to really get centered?
I don't. My grandmother always says take 15. Well, she's no longer with me, but would always say just take at least 15 minutes to get silent.
Mm.
Now, I would love to say I listened to that, but I haven't yet conquered that. But what I did conquer was a couple years later in the homeless shelter. They had moved us, but still a homeless shelter. I start to follow this loud noise, and I'm still dealing with loud noise. But my childhood experience is such a clear visual of how we can take it so practical. So I start to follow what I saw failing in school, all the things I was seeing and being the noise. And
Mhm.
I remember vividly, I love telling this story. I'm coming back to the homeless shelter from school, and my mother standing at the door of the homeless shelter looking unhappy. And by the time I get to her, she's like, "Do you want to be a follower or leader?" And I'm like, "Huh?"
Mm.
And she's like, "Because right now you're following, and you're going to follow and become everything you see.
Mm.
Or, Leah, you have an inner light inside. You have that divine whisper inside, and all you have to do is consistently choose that." And she walked away. And so my answer is I haven't mastered the concept of like truly getting silent, but I take words that sit well with me as truth. And when I'm approached with a lot of noise, I know that I can follow that noise or I can lead
Mhm.
from my truth.
Mhm.
And so if I see there's a lot of stuff happening outside of me, my question is, do I want to be that? Or do I want to take the chance on my inner self and listen to what I'm hearing? And it doesn't come in silence because I'm always moving, but it keeps coming back. Mine's, I don't sit, but it's something that just keeps coming back to me. I'll see it before I go to sleep. I'll hear it when I'm brushing my teeth. I'll open the refrigerator to get a snack that I'm not supposed to see, and I'll see it on a snack or something. Like it'll just keep coming back to me. And to me, that is my whispers, how they come. They keep coming up in different forms. Like I'll be watching TV and I'll hear a confirmation of something that I've heard in myself. And
Mhm.
I follow that because I believe that my mother was true. Like,
Mhm.
do I want to risk following all of the outside, or do I want to take a chance
Mhm.
on what myself has been telling me and showing me? I call it God, and I think God shows you things and messaging, and I'm always gonna take that opportunity and follow that to where it's supposed to be. Now, I do go outside of myself
Mhm.
in the noise. The way I use the noise is for confirmation, not for guidance. So
Okay.
if I look outside, I'm like, oh, that doesn't sit well with me. And I look outside, I'm like, oh, that is true because look at all the negative things that are happening.
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
I'll look outside and say, oh, this person was able to do this successful thing. Or I see someone doing something really joyful and that rings really well with me. And I'm like, oh, well, it's possible to do that. Okay, now go
Mhm.
back in yourself and figure out how you do it for you. So I'm
Yeah.
like confirming outside, going inside, confirming outside, going inside. And if there's no confirmation outside, I choose me.
Yeah. I want to, because sometimes I think, especially in our culture, with so much that we can see. I think it's powerful. As I listen to you, you said confirmation, not comparison,
Yes, no.
right?
Comparison and I'm not even a competer. I love people that
Mm-hmm.
compete. Like I think they're really cool and amazing. I wasn't even good at sports because I couldn't compete. And I think that's a characteristic. So if you are a competitor, yes, I love you. Um, my natural way of being is not to compete. So I never try to get in a race of something else, but I'll see that somebody's running fast and say, oh, well, then that means I can run a little faster. I ain't going to try to run them down, but I know that means I can run a little. If I'm running 3 at a time, then I could go to 5. So that's how I move through life. And it will be cool inspiring anyone else that knows that's not who they are to realize you don't have to compete and you don't have to compare. You can just look and say confirmation.
Yes, and get inspired to make
Yeah.
that next milliliter move.
Yes.
Yes. And you said that you really um, counted on yourself, like you were able to go within and trust what was in you in order to continue to move, and that level of creativity that continues to show up in your jewelry. How did creativity like become a lifeline for you, um, instead of something that you were left feeling abandoned by?
Yes. Oh, that's good. I've never had that question. I love it. Because I've tried so many things. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's so funny. Like, if you ever talk to me, I'm like, oh, I did that. And you're like, no, come on. You didn't do all that. I've tried. I was a waitress. I was a teacher. I worked in human resources. Like, I tried so many non-creative things. And you can add creativity in those things that I've listed. At that time that I was trying it, I was just doing it for work
Mm-hmm.
to for income, and I wasn't letting my creativity come alive. And honestly, the first unlocking of my creativity was me. And I used to love to paint and draw. Like if you looked at my school notes, I was failing school. I would fail school, and then I realized like, oh, if you ask for help, people will help you. So then I start asking for help, and I actually start to get on honor roll through support. But just my natural being, not the best student. So when you would look at my notebook, I'm doodling. Like it's doodled down. It's not
Mm-hmm.
a note on there, but it's doodled. And I just realized that was my joy. And I remember I had fought this battle all the way up into my late 20s, to be honest. And it just kept calling me that I wanted to do something creative so much. And I was like, I love painting. I love drawing. I went to high school for performing arts,
Mm-hmm.
but I never wanted to be like fully hungry again, you know? So I was like, ooh, starving artist doesn't sit in my soul well. I don't want to do all them auditions and then have to. So I chose like, okay, let me get something that would pay me, and but
Mm-hmm.
that's why I listed all those things. But it kept calling me, so I tried my hand at makeup, and I'm like,
Okay.
oh, this is it. I love painting. I can paint faces. It wipes off. Nobody's mad, and I could just do it as a joy. And honestly, that was an unlocking of me really embracing creativity,
Mm.
because I start to experience the connection that I was able to have with people, the connection I was able to have with using colors and
Mhm.
creating something beautiful, even on a face, and the joy that it would come out of individuals. That led me back to cosmetology school, which led me to deciding I wanted to work for QVC. Long story. It took me 5 years to get into QVC as a makeup and hair artist. 5 years of nose, and I knew it. And if so, I think the moral of this conversation is like your inner self is gonna tell you the truth. I believe it's God. Believe it. I said that I was going to work for QVC. I worked for Mac Cosmetic, and it took me years to get in there. I finally got in there, and I met a lady who told me about QVC. I live in Westchester. I lived in Philadelphia, but QVC is in Westchester. I got all the way to the door, but I needed a cosmetology license. So, what will you do for the dream? I think
Mm,
is my message as leaders. What will you do to take yourself to your destiny? I was standing with a master's degree in education doing a makeup for my joy, like on weekends, and then was posed with the opportunity to interview at QVC. And then they said, "Oh, you need a cosmetology license," and I didn't have one. So I had to choose, do I go back to school or do I let the dream go? And so I lost that job opportunity. But I said, okay, that's what they want me to have. I'll go back. Say
mm-hmm,
less.
mm-hmm,
So I went all the way back and got that. And that eventually, of no's, I got to walk through those QVC doors one day. Um, and that's when I started to meet entrepreneurs. And I was doing hair and makeup for entrepreneurs and business owners that were taking a dream and really putting their love and intention. It was a tangible product, but they were putting their messaging, their heart, their purpose into this tangible product. And when the receiver got it, because in QVC you hear they call T calls, people would call in and say how impactful this was to them in their life. I start to see that message. And that's when I really, under two mentors, would tell me, go after your dream. My mother,
mm,
right before she passed, she gave me earrings and she said, little cheap, little studs. And she was like, I see you um, choosing your light, listening to your inner whisper, walking towards your destiny. Always wear your earrings. They'll serve as a physical reminder that you always have light inside of you. All you have to do is choose it. And so that messaging resonated with me. And now sitting with business owners, using my creativity, I knew that I could combine those worlds because I had saw proof.
mm-hmm.
And now all I had to do is try and choose.
Right. So choosing your dream and identifying what cost will you pay to
Hmm.
stay true to your dream, like stay true to it, to see it through. And that,
Yes.
for me, it even lives in your brand. So Valencia means strength and
Yeah.
bravery, and key is connected to unlocking.
Yes.
So literally your life is reflected in your brand, by its name, by who you are, by how you live. What does unlocking bravery look like every day for leaders?
Mm, I love that. So I loved your definition of a leader in the opening. It was so beautiful. And I'm like, yes, that's it. Leaders, to me, you're a leader no matter if you coined yourself that or not. Because somebody's always watching, whether you think so or not. Now, what you choose to lead in is your opportunity. You could choose to lead in negativity and bad energy. That's still
Mm-hmm.
leading, or you can choose to define what impact, imprint, and uplifting messaging that you want to give in the world. And what unlocking is every day, every moment, finding within you one little message of light. The way I think about light, energy is light if we think
Mm-hmm.
of it
Mm-hmm.
scientifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And energy cannot be destroyed or created. What we've learned, it just is transferred.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so unlocking as a leader, your
Mm.
leadership to me is deciding what am I going to transfer
Yes. Yes.
in
Yes.
every action, every intention, every creation, every word. We all fall short, but we get to pick it back up and transfer that energy into the energy that you want to be. But the unlockingness is the choice to do the transfer of what you are choosing intentionally to
Mhm.
transfer.
Yeah.
Meaning, I am going to be a positive person to speak life into someone's life. I am going to choose to dream so big and not stop until I start to see something happen, because someone behind me is what I think is small, is watching and thinking it's huge.
Mhm.
That's a leader of unlocking courage, like doing it afraid,
Yeah.
like knowing inside, like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't have the money for it. I'm scared. All the things that happen inside of us. The unlocking is like doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Because yes, it's going to make an impact for you, but there's somebody else that it's going to make an impact for that you may never even see.
Right.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah. So recognizing your transfer of energy as a leader and being intentional about that and
Yeah.
realizing that transfer of energy is unlocking something not only for you but for everyone who's watching you. So
Yeah.
how will you allow your bravery, your movement forward continue to transfer the energy of possibility of light for others as they're literally watching, and we don't even know who is watching or
We
how they'll
don't.
be impacted.
Your leadership is transferred at the cash register. Like, you
Yeah.
you don't know that when you spoke to someone and you saw that they had a pretty eye color, will make that up. And he's like, oh my gosh, your eyes are so beautiful. And you just left that with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's leadership.
Yeah.
That's saying that I see you.
I see
A
you.
leader sees people and values people and finds little attributes, big or small, within individuals, highlights them and uplifts it.
Yeah.
And when you are unlocking these little moments, to me, we can do a lot of big leadership. You can tell people what to do, you can get a group of people following you and things like that. But what do you do in the smallest moment? To me,
Mm-hmm.
that's an awesome leader. When, like, when it doesn't matter, when no eyes are really on you, when you're just running outside, like, how are you showing up
Yeah.
to people, or even just walking down the street? Is your shoulders back? Is your head up? Are you smiling? Like, did you do a little quick happy dance to get to the car? Somebody across the street saw you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
That's leadership.
your bravery has unlocked an international brand that
Mm.
inspires joy. So I just want you to name drop. I just want you to name drop. Who has worn this representation of joy and bravery? Give
Yeah,
us some names. Give us some
I
names.
love that. I'm the worst name dropper ever. I know we got a name drop in this world. So I will, but I always get nervous about name dropping because I love everyone that's worn my jewelry. I wish I
Yes.
could honestly.
As
I wish I could.
I
I
have
wish I
mine
could
on
let.
today.
Exactly, Dr. Jackson. I'm gonna drop that name. It's wearing. It's really cool, and I wouldn't. But we saw each other at a post gathering, and so I'm always looking at people's jewelry, just to learn and things like that. And I saw you, and I saw the bracelet on, and I was like, I saw the Valencia Key bracelet, and my heart was
Yes.
like, I try not to be over uncomfortable for people, but in my heart, I'm just like happy dancing.
Yes.
It's an honor. It's an honor when someone chooses to wear your light as a physical embodiment of something that they want to
Mm-hmm.
adorn their body with a reminder. So, like you, Dr. Jackson, a beautiful, amazing Robin Roberts, um, has worn Valencia Key. It's really cool. Sometimes I have people say, "Turn on Good Morning America," and out of nowhere, I'll see her loving heart radiating in the Valencia Key Synergy necklace, which I'm so honored. The Duchess Megan has not this past February, but the February before, wore the Valencia Key Joy bracelet, and she was so loving to share my name, my personal name, and my brand name to an awesome editor. And that went into a whole viral moment and sold the Joy bracelet out in 4 hours. So much so that Forbes magazine wrote about the brand and the Megan effect. Um, it's a beautiful honor to know, and my dream is that beautiful hearts that can wear it, and then that energy is transferred to individuals who are looking for light, needing possibility, needing opportunity, for them to be able to wear it and be inspired that we're all wearing it for the same purpose. The Duchess said, I wear my joy bracelet to consistently check in, to walk in my joy era. And I'm like, yes, that's it. Just it. Because when you touch it, you'll catch a glimpse of your wrist. Or I wear these rooted rings. It's a rooted design that I created.
Yeah.
Sure, stay rooted in actions that you choose to be, not who you are, because we're a lot of things, but who you choose to be. Maybe you choose to persevere, you choose to be loved, you choose to have gratitude. Those things I root those in my being. And I think about those words, I say those words, I wear those words.
Yeah.
So when the time comes when life is trying to knock me out of that, I can reset to say, no, this is who I've claimed myself to be. So no matter wind is gonna try to blow around me, a little branch may break off, that'll grow back, but my roots will stay strong in this perseverance and in this gratitude.
Yeah. And I purchased, well, my first bracelet, I'm going to be getting another one. My first one was the Worthy bracelet. And then I purchased Enough. And I think in this season, I'm in the middle of like huge transitions and shifts and huge responsibilities. And both of those words I specifically picked because I want to be able to look down. And I have done this. I'm going to tell you, because people don't always share back or have the privilege. There have been moments in meetings where something has come at me and I look down and I see enough. And I just I spin it and then I get right back into it. And so when we
You're gonna get me to crying. Thank you.
Yeah, because I feel like you need to know that the intentionality that you're placing into your brand is actually living out its purpose in those of us who are wearing it, especially in seasons and time where stuff gets so hard and can come at you so fast. And to look down and be like, oh, nope, enough. All right, what you got?
Exactly.
Let me straighten in my chair.
I love that word enough too. I love that you got enough. Thank you. That your words are literally my prayers answered. Is everything. And honestly, I would love to pray. My grandmother told me to pray, and I pray consistently over Valencia Key and every piece that I create. And it is that very prayer that a godly light is put in each piece, so that whatever these creations are needed, let it be for you in your seasons and your journeys, and let it go with you throughout your journey as you go from glory to glory, challenge to triumph. So that is an ultimate honor. And I love the word enough, because enough, like, it can hit different in all different, like, enough of this
Mm-hmm.
enough, right? I am enough,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I've had enough,
Yeah.
right? This is good enough.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause sometimes you've got to realize, like, I'm going to keep dreaming. Every time you talk to me, I'm doing something new. It doesn't mean that I'm not grateful that everything around me is enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what I have right now is enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there's another calling for me to do. So I love
Yeah.
that word so much. I'm so grateful you
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah. And as you speak to, because I know that there are entrepreneurs listening, um, and they're in their I want it to be enough season. Like they're still trying to build. They're still in its infancy stage. They're
Mhm,
not global yet. They can't drop the names yet. What do
mhm.
you say to a a um, a designer who is at the early stages? They're still working in their garage, or they're hand making each piece. What do you say to them? What are 3 key lessons that you've learned that you would share to someone still at the early stages of building the dream?
Oh, I love that. One, deep encouragement because I'm still in my house and I'm still in the early stages. So, one encouragement is you can get great victories and still be in the early stages. And that's a really weird place to be because you're like,
Mm-hmm.
but I but somebody just but I'm and so you're kind of don't give up.
Mm.
Um those words I know it's cliche, everyone says it, but it's just so true. Every mistake is a win. And I'm just noticing you don't have to be perfect. Like, it's okay. I am the most imperfect person. Things mess up, things break. I can't tell you how many pieces break that I thought, like, oh, I didn't know that that design would do that. I mean, it's okay.
Mm.
Don't let it it's don't give up. Let it break. Apologize. Fix it if you can. You may lose one person. Be human and I tell the people everything. I'm so sorry. And I go through a whole tangent on what happened and hope that they feel my humanity.
Mm.
You can't please everyone. There is someone that will believe in you.
Yeah.
All your job is to keep getting better, to keep learning, to keep trying. There's no perfection. They're the most biggest brands that have been hugely successful make a lot of mistakes. You know what the difference is between us and them? They said I'm great and I'm gonna keep going.
They
So,
trusted. Yes. They kept
right?
moving.
They
They
said,
kept
okay, we got
moving.
all these returns. Okay, well, we won't do that again. But what else we bringing out? And they kept saying that this is good and I will become good. And they kept trying to be better in little areas. And they never
Mm.
let the failures and the mistakes stop them until they got to what they knew to be true. Same to my journey.
Mhm.
And I'm still in the journey. I'm
Mm.
still seeking um, to build and have a good structure and a good business ecosystem. And I haven't gotten there yet. But I'm just going to keep showing up and keep trying and keep being intentional about what I want to give. So I think my last messaging is what are you giving
Mhm.
in the business? Because if the money and we need the coin. So
Mhm.
I am not
Mhm.
negating the coin. You know how I separate the two? I go work another job. I'm still working. I'm still working
Mhm.
for a
Mhm.
beautiful skincare brand called Tatcha Skincare. I love them to pieces. They have been my life. They have blessed my life. Um, so don't let the finance of the business trying to become be the leading factor, because that's when you
That's it.
will lose focus
Mm-hmm.
and you will lose the truth. And then the receiver will feel that there is no truth, there is no messaging, there's no heart, there's no core. And then that's when it all goes. So, what do you really want to give? What part of your heart are you saying that? And it could be, it doesn't have to be a tangible product. Maybe you're a bookkeeper, maybe
Yes.
you're a service provider. What in that service is your underlining message?
Yeah.
Like, am I here to create clarity for people? Well, then you're gonna keep showing up as clarity, even when ain't nobody buying. Keep showing up as clarity, even when no one has booked you. Keep showing up as clarity. My
But
message is light,
but
right?
Leah, I think that is really at the core of this.
Mm-hmm.
Is that especially in scarcity seasons and fearful or uncertain, sometimes we can get so focused on, is this going to bring me in this amount of money, or I
Yeah,
need to get this,
the
that
noise that we were
we,
talking about.
all of that, all of that, that we lose sight of really locking in on how am I going to add value?
Yeah,
How is this going to impact others? And if we put more energy there,
that's
it
it.
frees up our brain to continue to create, to build, and then the resources will come.
It becomes magnetic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Energy draws. We back to energy. It transfers, gives, and receives. When you hone in on what you're giving
Mm-hmm.
and you keep giving that, the being will feel truth and it will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have to keep showing up at it. You got to tell people. I lived
Mm-hmm.
in poverty, and the poverty people don't tell people your dreams. Don't tell people, no, they're going to kill your dreams. There's no one that could take your dream but you.
Yeah.
There's no being that can kill your dream. They may try to stop it. There may be obstacles that jump in your way, but the only dream killer is you.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you've got to share your message, your intention, what you're doing, not from a receiving perspective. People are always feeling that. Everyone knows when you want something from them, and it's
Mm-hmm.
cringy. But from a giving perspective, what are you offering? And share what you're offering to people without expectation.
Yeah.
And then one day somebody's going to catch on. And
Yeah.
then someone else will catch on. And you just keep showing and then you keep learning. And eventually you'll look back and you'll see how far you've come.
Yeah.
And then you'll look up and see how much farther you got to go. And don't let that scare you.
And you know what? The part where you just paused a moment ago and you said, it doesn't have to be a product thing if you're a bookkeeper, because as you were talking, I even thought about how when I'm getting ready to go speak,
Mm-hmm.
I will pause the nerves to shift from worrying about how I'm going to do this or how I'm going to deliver it to what do I want? How do I want to impact others?
Yeah, I
What do
got
I
chills.
hope to offer?
Yes.
And even literally sometimes I will pray, who is the person
Me too.
who
Yeah.
needs what I have to say today? And then I center myself on who it is that I've been called to give something to. And it
Yes.
quiets the nerves, it
Yeah.
sets the intention. And so this is transferable, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's a product or
Yeah.
it is presence,
Yeah.
it's transferable as a leader.
Yes. As a leader, I believe you will automatically receive.
Mm.
You stay with an open heart. Looking for the receive is not the way.
It'll
It's going to
come to
come.
you.
It's going
It'll
to
come to
come.
you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Open heart says, what is my offering? What is
Yeah.
my offering? How can I serve? Where do I see the need? And if you just focus on that with like a really pure heart of help, serving and offering, nothing can shake you.
Yeah.
Because when the sales don't come or when the bookings don't come in, you know you got to offer this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm meant to
Mm-hmm.
offer it. So I'll find another way. I'll switch it around because I have to offer this.
Can
But
I
if it's from
ask
a
you?
surface level, it
Can I
doesn't work.
ask you well, it might be a personal question, so
Yes, I love
you
personal
can
questions.
you can tell me now.
Choose
But
yeah.
you just said something. So if I have something to offer and the booking doesn't come, is there how did you go from design to Duchess Meghan Markle's wrist? Like
Yeah.
what was something pivotal that how what is a way or strategy that you actually got from here to the wrist or the neck of
Mhm.
someone who was influential to your brand?
That's a I love that question. I think I'm gonna get emotional thinking about it because it's my whole entire messaging that I probably don't even say clearly. It's the energy you are. And this is gonna sound so like, oh, superficial, but I'm telling you, when people feel that you are really loved, they will share it with people you can't even imagine. So like working
Mm-hmm.
in places like QVC
Mm-hmm.
and connecting with beautiful hearts, like Jamie Kern Lima, New York Times bestseller 2 times. Oh!
Mm-hmm.
Um, a podcast, top podcast. Um, you meet people that meet you as a human. And when they feel the truth of who you are, it is infectious to share. And so I would offer you, maybe don't work on the business plan, work on your heart and energy plan.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only thing that's got me from homelessness to sitting with you is me deciding to be kind, light, joy, love in all situations. Whether I was waitressing, whether I was sweeping salon floors, whether I was doing hair in QVC's cosmetology, making jewelry, no matter where you put me, my energy is powerfully positive and it's unique. You would think it's normal, but it's not.
No.
And if you have a unique characteristic about you, people will share about you. So
Mm-hmm.
the product isn't different. Anyone can make a bracelet and put a word on it. But someone's going to share like you've got to get this because the person that makes that in the way you feel when you're around them, ugh,
That's
when you
what
put
it's
the
about.
bracelet on, you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
It's all in you. You are the byproduct of everything you create and you do. And so I intentionally, and I don't fake happy.
No,
It's
you
not
don't.
toxic positivity. Because if I'm pissed, I'll tell you, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Woo! I'm about to go back to Project Homeless Leah, and I'm going to need a minute to gather it and find the light. So it's not fake, but I got two options. I can either dull the room and dull my own light, or I can light my own light and light the room. And that's
Mm-hmm.
good living every time
Yeah.
for me. So I choose it. In negative situations, I'll breathe. I learn to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you always want to defend and fight, and it's great to defend. I always defend myself, but how? I listen, I ask God for guidance on how do I strategically address this so that I am in a good position, but I am being who I said I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything I'm leading from this strategic way of being and admitting, and even when I got to check someone, I get serious and it's very drastic because people are used to me smiling. So it may take people off, but my words are always kind and I'm never going to cut someone down. I'm just going to
Yeah.
state facts. And when someone sees that for a while, they know it's true and they'll
Yeah.
share it every time.
So that love, that light, that level of integrity of being consistent and focusing on how you're going to give and share and not just what am I going to get out of this, and staying true to who you have said you want to be, even in challenging seasons, has not only helped you build a global brand, but you also have a dream that goes beyond jewelry. Can you are
Yeah.
you allowed to tell us about
Please,
the
I want
dream,
to. Yes,
the dream?
I told you I keep dreaming. The dream doesn't stop. Uh, yes, and what you said is it's allowed me to live a beautiful life.
Mm-hmm.
A beautiful life. Do I have a lot of hardships? Absolutely. I lost my mother at an early age, 20s. I lost my grandmother right after that. I lost my aunt right after that, like back to back to back. I've lost my jobs multiple times. I was homeless again as a young adult. My company consistently doesn't make the numbers that one would say it should make, even with all the beautiful accolades that you've shared and that we've shared today. But my life is so beautiful. And so, if anything, leaders, choose a beautiful life.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you choose a beautiful life, it will just start to ooze and emit into every facet of your life, which leads me to my very first home that I was able to purchase was with bartend tip money. I bartended and I saved up my tips. And I didn't think I was ever going to buy a house until one of my friends, Tupi, said, you need to own something. You don't ever want to be homeless again. You know, you don't ever want someone to be able to take your apartment from you and put you in that predicament. I was like, huh, well, if you put it that way, thanks. So I also listen. So there's words of power. Take people's words, throw out the trash that's not for you. Everything is not for you. Shift, be a gold mine. I always say I'm always looking for gold. I'm shifting out the gold that sits really well with me and I take it and then I shift out. Well, like, no, that was human or that wasn't for me. And so I took that and I got my first home on tip money, but it was in the one of the roughest neighborhoods of West Philadelphia. And I lived there. It was actually a drug house, to be honest. And I just saw a vision. I saw that I could work and slowly build it up. And so in this rough environment, I worked and I slowly built it up on my own. I saw actual murder happen across from me one day when I was sleeping in the home. That's how rough it is. But I knew it was mine, right? And I knew that no one could take that away from me. And for that was power. And for a moment, that was for me. And then there was a lot, 3 empty lots next to it, filthy. And I start to clean those lots up because you feel like what you're around. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
know about poverty. The reason why when we're in poverty, sometimes we stay in poverty is because what you see around you, if no one's telling you your predicament doesn't determine your destiny, if no one's telling you to look inside and there's the light, then all you see around you is filth
Mm-hmm.
and depression. And so I start to clean up the lot next to me. I Googled, I'm like, well, the smart thing to do is own this lot if you're cleaning it. And I'm like, but I don't have much money. I was then freelancing as a hair and makeup artist for QVC between the makeup and stores and then slowly freelancing for QVC. And I Google and I get the owner's number of the lot. Crazy. I didn't know that it was really it. I was like, let me try it. I called and a feeble lady answered, feeble voice answered lady. And she said, I said, oh, is this the owner? And she said, yes. And I said, I just purchased the home next to a abandoned lot that online it says you're the owner of. And I gave her the address. And she said, oh, yes, dearie. And I said, would you allow me to purchase it? I've been cleaning it up and I would really love to own it because it's just creating so much vermin for my home. And she said, oh, yeah, you can purchase it, but you have to pay all the debt owed on it.
Wow.
And so I didn't know. I was young. I was like, okay, can I call you back? Hang up. I talked to people and they're like, you can't afford that. It was so much debt owed on the lot from
Wow.
demolishing the building. I didn't know all these things. So a debt can accrue on an empty lot. So I call her back. I only speak to this beautiful heart twice. I call her back and I tell her, thank you so much for saying I could purchase it. I won't be able to afford it because I can't afford the debt owed on the land. And she said, okay. 3 years later, I get a letter in the mail from a lawyer and it says, you've been willed free and clear of all debt, the lot of 3618 Aspen Street.
Mm.
This beautiful lady that I only spoke to twice put in her estate to pay off the debt of this land for me to have.
When you show up as light,
When you show up as light
when you show up as
with
light.
no expectation, I think parts of what we miss is that we show up and we expect. And so
Mm.
when you're looking for something and you don't get it, then you draw back in and you don't consider have no expectation just because I want to be this. So I then knew that this was bigger than me, and I had to do something. Right? If someone gifted me this, this is something that I have to make an impact on the community that I'm in. And it took me, I guess, another 14 years of me telling everybody. I tell you, tell your dream. That's another key. I'm like, tell your dream, and not in a expecting way. No one needs to help you. You are telling your dreams to give it wings to fly.
Yeah.
Because Bob Goff is a beautiful speaker that says the human brain is wired to help,
Mm-hmm.
but it will connect when it can. So there should be no expectation. Like you're just planting seeds. And when someone hears where they can help, they'll just organically help. It's natural. So I've been telling people that I want to build affordable homes on the building that I purchased and the land that I was given. And finally, I think 13, maybe we'll say 10 years later now, because I'm 2 years in the process, one of my friends, Grace, says, I found an architect that is, they're your people. And I'm like, what do you mean? Then ISA is the architect company name. And I'm like, what do you mean? She was like, I was reading about them and they love to
People.
help develop inner city neighborhoods. And I'm like, oh, wow. But I can't afford that. I mean, they need people with funding and money. And she was like, it doesn't matter. Just call them. So I call and I get to speak to someone online. And then they give me a number. And I actually get to speak to one of the owners,
Mm.
Divine. And I tell the owner my story, the same story I just told you about the gifting of the lot. And he says, oh, this is so wonderful. We're too big. We don't have space for your project. But what I can do is I can kind of refer you to people. And I just said, okay, thank you. I appreciate your time. I'm from homelessness. So just the opportunity to be able to share this dream with you is a gift. And then he said, you know what? Give me a day. I'm going to call my business partner and I'll call you back. He called his business partner, which was his wife. And they said, we're going to take on your project. And this
Yeah.
beautiful architect company paired me with a gentleman named Aaron, who became my liaison that found me a loan to start the
Yeah.
first portion of paying ISA, the architect, paying him as a liaison and getting the zoning and permits. So to this day,
Yeah.
we are fully zoned and fully permitted to create two affordable housing buildings, 8 units, to create not just internal help for people for affordability, but I am going to beautify that neighborhood that I once walked past with trash filled. The buildings are going to be beautiful, and it's going to inspire babies that are
Yes.
walking past and parents that are struggling with words of murals on the wall to inspire them that whatever your dreams are, and no matter what your predicament, that it's possible. So I'm looking
Yeah.
for funding now for anyone that has funding that can actually help support
With the
payment of the, because I'm going to get a construction loan to start building. Prayerfully, I get approved. We're in process of that
yes.
right now.
Prayers, prayers, prayers,
Praying right
prayers,
now.
prayers,
Uh,
prayers.
that's a construction loan, but once the construction is built, you have to get funding to pay that off to be able to support the project. So I'm looking for people, foundations that will donate to help either pay it so we can have really affordable housing, or at least portion down so the affordability can really reach individuals like me, when I was younger, who had so much promise but didn't have the economical support to live
Mm-hmm.
in beautiful buildings,
Yeah.
and treat people with luxury who
Mm.
deserve to show that you are luxury. Even if you haven't gotten to where you're supposed to be, you can live in beautiful places, and it'll inspire them to do beautiful things.
And you are worthy.
And you are worthy of it.
You are
You're
worthy.
enough. You are worthy. And it's all possible. Thank you for
Leah,
allowing me to share that.
absolutely. So we are like actually overtime because I just and look and the hearts are coming up. People are absolutely responding and loving you. And so as we close out, for the leader, the entrepreneur, the dreamer who's listening, who feels overwhelmed by their current circumstances, what do you want to leave them with, to remember to keep them from giving up?
Yes.
We'll leave them with your message.
So if you are a spiritual person, God is with you, and you aren't doing this alone. There is a higher power that is right there that's going to walk with you on this journey to every dream that you have been whispered in your heart. It is possible. Don't give up. Keep Literally keep believing that whatever the whisper came into your brain for you to do is possible, and keep speaking your dreams out, because when you speak them out, it plants seeds in people's heart, and you never know who will share your story with someone and help you move 1 millimeter closer to the next step toward your destiny. It's possible, and I believe in you.
As we close this conversation, I want you to hold on to one powerful truth. Your environment does not get the final say on your future. What Lia reminded us tonight is that leadership is not born from perfect conditions. It's born from vision, courage, and the decision to create beauty, purpose, and light anyway. Too many people are waiting for ideal circumstances before they move, they dream, they lead, or they even build. But the flip side of adversity is realizing that sometimes your greatest strength is developed in the very season that tried to break you. So here's your challenge for this week. Stop asking what's missing and start asking, what can I create from where I am right now? Because your pain can become purpose. Your struggle, it actually can become your strategy, and your story can become the light that somebody else needs. That's leadership. That's resilience. And that's the flip. I am so glad that you joined us this evening. But what will you do with this moment? Same time, same place, next week. I can't wait to hear about it. right here on the flip side. We'll see you then.